Hey guys, and welcome to Friday for Directed Draw. Today we are going to do some directed drawing of a pot of flowers that you can give to your mom for Mother's Day because this weekend is Mother's Day. We planted those marigolds, maybe yours grew. We were going to give those to our moms for Mother's Day. Mine did not make it. Maybe yours did. But either way, we are going to make a picture of a potted plant for Mother's Day. So now you remember, I'm going to draw my paper. You don't have to draw my big square paper. So I'm going to do the paper vertically so it's long so you can have some nice tall flowers. So some nice tall flowers. The first thing you're going to do is about in the middle of the paper. Not at the top, not at the bottom, right about in the middle of the paper. You are going to draw almost as big as the whole paper. A long, very skinny rectangle. That's the start of our pot. So long, very skinny rectangle. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to start not at the edge of the long, skinny rectangle, but in just a little bit. And I'm going to draw a diagonal line all the way down. Do you see how it goes just a little diagonal in? It's not straight up and down, but it's not too much of a slide. A little bit of a diagonal. I'm going to go to this side and do the same thing. I'm going to go in a little bit. I'm going to do a diagonal line all the way down to the ground. Now I have my pot. I'm going to make my pot sides a little more square. So I've cut my pot. The next thing I want to do is I want to make my stems. I'm going to start with 3 flowers. I recommend starting with 3. You can always add more. Start with 1 in the middle. You're going to do 2 parallel lines. Parallel means 2 lines that are exactly the same, straight up. Not all the way to the top because you want to leave room for your flower. All right. I'm going to draw 2 more this way. I'm going to have them go out just a little bit. Do you see how those are not exactly straight up and down? They bend just a little bit. And this I'm going to do the same. 2 parallel lines. They're not the same heights. Do you notice they're all different heights? That way my flowers will be different heights. I'm going to start with my first flower. I'm going to start with this flower up here, my middle flower. I'm going to make that a poofy flower, like a carnation. To make this poofy flower, I'm going to start at the bottom of the line, the top of the lines right here, and I'm going to make kind of a big cloud shape. Or do you remember when we did the sheep? Big puffy. I'm going to go inside it and I'm going to do another cloud shape. And I'm going to go inside it and I'm going to do an even smaller cloud shape. And then in the middle I'll do a little dot. Boop. I've got my first flower. You could do all 3 flowers that way if you really like that flower, but I'm going to do 3 different flowers. My next flower is going to be a kind of like a tulip. I'm going to do this one over here to be my tulip. The tulip shape is pretty easy. On top of my parallel lines, I'm going to make a U. Easy enough? On top of the U, I'm going to do some up and down jaggedies. So it just kind of looks like the pointy part on top of a flower. And then to make it look like a tulip, I'm going to go to one of these bottom parts of these little triangles. And I'm going to just do a little side line. So it just kind of looks like a petal. That's the second flower done. The third flower is a little harder, but I think you can do it. It requires a little more thinking. So I'm going to move my camera a little closer, hopefully, without it falling off the table. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to take a couple finger spaces above, and I'm going to plug this back in because apparently it needs to be plugged in for power. I'm going to draw the middle of the flower that's just kind of floating. From the middle of the flower, I am going to draw 1 petal on one side, 1 petal on the other side. Long skinny U's. 1 petal up here, and then 1 right below it. And then I'm going to do 1 petal right in between those 2. And another petal shape in between those 2. I'm going to go to these 2 to do each side. 1 petal shape here. 1 petal shape here. And I could keep adding petals if I wanted to. I can go in between each one of these and I can add another little tiny petal. So it looks like the flower is really filled in with petals. Now I want to add some leaves. Leaves are nice and easy. I'm just going to do a little curvy line down, a little curvy line up, little curvy line down, little curvy line up. I'm going to give this guy a petal. I'm going to give this one a petal. It's going to be really important that you color your flowers. And I'm going to write M-O-M right on my vase of flowers. So I've got Mom. You can color it. You could do 3 different flowers. You could do lots of flowers. You could add more little flowers in there if you wanted to. If you want to do another tiny one back here, you could do another little tiny tulip back there. You can add whatever you want because it is your vase of flowers for your mom. It's up to you. Have fun with your flowers, and I look forward to seeing them. Bye.